holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Hey everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host Brent Thomas, and these are Night Terrors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everybody, all of you that are coming in now. I know we just started, but I was a little bit behind, a few minutes behind, but I just got the podcast uploaded and got all set up for the show, and here we go. So the brand new podcast is out there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to check that out, head over to Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Stitcher, Castbox, Google Play, and any other one you can think of, because we should be on all of them, or if not all, then almost. So if you know where to find us, go check us out. Again, the podcasts are not the same thing as the YouTube shows. YouTube live streams are completely different for the most part. So just so you understand, there's a distinction there. The podcasts are audio only and are available on those platforms and are completely different material 90% of the time. So we very rarely share material between both shows. So if you tune in and subscribe to those, you're likely to find a whole lot more and a lot of interviews with actual people experiencing the phenomena. So it's really a lot of fun, great shows, and I've met a lot of great people and hearing from them about their own experiences. So pretty cool stuff. But anyway, hope you guys are doing great. It is the day after Halloween. Hope you all survived okay, and I hope your baskets got full as you trick-or-treated. I, of course, got the Paranormal Portal kid cam going over here. I've got got both the little people with me. Well, one's bigger than me, actually. Sheldon's, he's bigger than I am, but got the little minion in here as well tonight, so they're keeping me company and making me an honest man and keep me on task. They are my support staff tonight.
Doing my best.
Doing your best. All right, thank you. All right, so we are cruising along. It's a full house full of all kinds of possibilities tonight. I got some ghost stories to share with you. But if you have any experiences of your very own that you'd like to share, please feel free to call into the hotline, the Paranormal Portal hotline. And the number is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. So that's how you keep in touch with what's going on here. And that's how you let me know if you've got something to share. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking, talking at the same time. It's like, wait, that didn't really make much sense. But welcome to my world, ladies and gentlemen. I don't always make sense, but I always have fun doing it. So just ask my kids. Do you want to talk, Sheldon? Do you want me to unmute you, or what do you think?
I was muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Oh,
as a mutiny.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't mind either way. I'm
right.
here.
All right. Well, we can leave it we can leave it unmuted. What?
Sounds good.
What, buddy? Did you say something?
Oh, he laughed.
Oh,
he was just laughing.
All right. So we are going now. I guess that's all I got on the front end. So hope you guys are ready, because it's time for bed. I just love that sound is just so horrible.
Makes my spine tingle.
It does, doesn't it? It's just kind of greasy. It's like, and then it just says Paranormal Portal, but the shadow has all these tentacles. It's like, where the hell are those? I don't see those. That's weird. It's freaking me out. All right, so let's get started here, ladies and gentlemen. I got some stories to pull up for you, and we'll start the entertainment as such. But let me see here. I'll get it going. Ooh, there's a good one. Ooh, I got another good one. And thank you to everybody who participated in the giveaways, and thank you to all of you who called in trying to win something. We'll do more of those, so don't think that was your only opportunity. I want to do giveaways as much as we can because I love the opportunity to give back to you guys for all that you've given to us. We really appreciate all your love and support. And thank you for being a part of the fun last night. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it, and we'll do it again as soon as we can. Of course, we got the Christmas holiday coming up, and then there's Thanksgiving, and I can't think of a better time than Thanksgiving to do some more giveaways. What do you guys think? Maybe we'll do it then. So just some possibilities. There's always possibilities here on the portal. So the first story tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to come from Massachusetts, and it sounds like a dark one. It sounds like a pretty dark one, but it's not a real long story. But it has to do with demons, possessions, and exorcisms. So, oof. Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. All right, it says, my name is Logan, and I've recently written a post about this entity terrorizing me. Many of you have emailed me, given me advice, and trying to help me with this problem. I just wanted to say thank you all for your comments and concerns. I, unfortunately, have been dealing with more aggression from this demon lately. But let me explain to you what my life has been like before these recent years. I've been dealing with this entity for a while, and I can't really figure out why it has its sights set on me. My ex-girlfriend was really into Ouija boards and stuff of that nature, and she played around with the board a lot. I can't help to feel a little angry at her for bringing this curse into my life. I've dealt with strange voices, laughter, car keys, and other materials on my nightstand end up in the backyard or on top of my roof, cold spots and wind where there was no windows. One time I went down to the cellar to get some tools, and there was a horrible smell, and I thought an animal had died, but nothing was there. I have a dog that never used to bark so much until all of this started happening. He just goes crazy at the weirdest times and barks at the ceiling, and I've repeatedly dreamt about someone or thing being in my room, and I can't switch on the lights. I always end up running and trying to find a light switch or lamp in the darkness, and all these problems seem to be like child's play up until now. I've recently been grabbed by the arm and leg. Plates and glasses are found in my kitchen shattered. I wake up not being able to move, and it feels like I'm fighting something off of me. I took some advice and spread some holy water around my house, hoping it would work. Well, I was quiet for about a week, and then things got real crazy. My bed would turn over while I was sleeping in it. The voices sounded like screaming, almost like a lion's roar. My cross in my room is missing, along with my Bible and pictures in my room. And I was once pushed by a force so strong that it felt like someone ran right into me. There is more and more aggression as the days go by. I can only hope that the next time I write a post in here, it can be one with a happy ending. If there's any groups of ghost hunters that would like to come and check out my home, please leave a response with your email address and I'll contact you. Only serious hunters, please. I'll take photos and post anything I capture on my profile page. Thank you. First of all, if you're dealing with something dark, sure, sprinkling some holy water around is going to be, it may help to lower the energy, and just like saging will help to baseline the energy and stuff, but it sounds like they need someone to come in and exercise that and just get it out. Those Band-Aids they're throwing at it aren't going to be anything long term. If it is indeed something dark, you've got to get it out. And the longer an infestation happens, the more problematic it is to get rid of. So that's something I don't know why this person, and don't contact ghost hunters. You don't want ghost hunters and paranormal groups to come in there. They're going to stir it up even worse. If it really is a dark infestation, you don't want people coming and trying to get EVPs and capturing things on camera, because that's going to crank it up. There's certain things that really agitate spirits, and one of them is investigations. A lot of times investigations are done by people with, I think, the best intentions, but they aren't always approaching it the best way, and it agitates things. And then they leave. They go home. The investigators go home, but the people still have to live there, and they're dealing with whatever ramifications are left with dealing with an angry spirit. So they should be bringing in priests or shamans or somebody that is capable of clearing the house. You know, screw the investigation stuff. Let somebody else let their house get investigated. But if you're dealing with something dark, that's not time to play around. So just my 2 cents on that, ladies and gentlemen, but I think that's a big, big risk. So let's continue here. Next story I've got for you is from California. And this has to do with miscellaneous things. So this can be a lot of different categories. And it's not overly long, about a medium-length story, but let's see what's going on in California. It says, for a while now, I've been taking an online course for automatic writing. Really? Where's that given? Where do they got that one? Is that next to casting spells and stuff? Is this Hogwarts Online or something? Automatic writing course, which is pretty interesting. I have a candle plate in my room that holds pebbles and 3 candles. The plate sits behind my desk on a desk chair on the filing cabinet. And for the longest time when I first started the class for automatic writing, out of the blue, the pebbles on the plate would click. Next to the candle plate, I had a little glass jar with pebbles in it also, which I burn incense in. And when I first noticed the clicking, I didn't think anything about it, but then the clicking got louder, like someone wanted me to know that they were there. I thought maybe it was the pebbles in the glass jar settling, so I kind of shook them down and put the glass jar in another room, and there was nothing for a couple of days. Then the clicking starts again. It was coming from the pebbles in the candle plate. I'm not the only one who heard this. My 14-year-old daughter has heard it to the point that it's annoying. My mom has also heard it, and when I first decided to study automatic writing, I joked to my mom that I was going to study the automatic writing and call my great-grandmother Nanny, who passed away back in 2001. When it came time to start the practice for the automatic writing class and try to contact someone, the clicking on the candle plate had stopped. I heard it once in about I have heard it once in about a month, and it was just for a few minutes. During my practical for writing automatic writing, which was a 14-day practice, I got nothing. No contact with anyone, nothing at all on my paper. I do sage my area, light protection candles, and place out bloodstones before I even attempt to do any contact, just for your information. Now, yesterday I'd laid down to take a nap, and I'd been asleep for about an hour when my phone rang. And when I got up, my bed was shaking. It was like a vibration, and I kept looking to see if the cat was on the end of the bed scratching or moving around. And I've experienced the bed shaking before, but not in the 8 years that I had lived in this house. The bed never did stop shaking. I got out of bed, answered the phone, stepped into the restroom, and came back and sat in my desk chair, which was also shaking, just like the bed. Nothing else around me was moving, just the shaking of the bed and the chair. Now, I thought that this was really weird since I've only experienced the bed shaking, never a chair or anything else. After a while, it did finally stop. An hour and a half later, there was a 4.5 earthquake in Hawthorne, California, which is maybe 100 miles away from me. But this did not happen during the time my bed and chair was shaking. This was an hour and a half later. We never felt it. And they say if it was an aftershock to the earthquake they had the night before. Now, my question is, could the shaking be a warning that the earthquake was coming, or that a bigger one is coming? Could the clicking of my pebbles on the candle plate be a sign that something is here that does want to communicate with me or through my automatic writing? I have my own opinion on this, but I'd like to hear yours and your feedback. Thanks for reading the story. That's weird. I don't know. It's tough to say. You got to be careful about attributing paranormal to everything. It's possible, but since they do have earthquakes, could it have been just some tectonic, vibration? And maybe it wasn't enough to be an earthquake, but it was maybe some of that tension building up or releasing after the earthquake. I don't know if it was before or after. I got a little confused on that as I was reading the story, but I don't know. I would probably attribute it more to the geography than I would to the paranormal, because when they tried to write, they didn't really have any experiences. So I don't know. My 2 cents on that is that it was probably having more to do with the the geology of the area than with the paranormal, but maybe not. There are those that believe that along fault lines, that along areas like the Pacific Ring of Fire, which California is certainly a part of that. Those areas are supercharged spiritually because of all that natural energy. And that could very well be. I don't know, just a thought. What do you think, Sheldon?
That one's hard to say. Yeah, I agree with that one. Actually, it could go either way. To be honest, yeah. In my mind, yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Elijah? Oh, you want to talk?
Good.
All right. He says good.
Good
Okay.
feedback. All right.
All right. Nice participation. Good job. No, that's cool. Yeah, I like hearing what you guys think.
Good.
Just a couple branches on the tree here. All right. So that was that story. I think it's interesting, but I don't know. It's hard to quantify that as paranormal. But we'll see. We'll see. We got more stories here to go. This next one's coming from Utah. Has to do with apparitions, voices, and touching. You know what I didn't do?
What's that?
I didn't even connect the phone line. I didn't even do it. Let me do that now.
I told someone to call in too.
I know. I told everybody they could call in. Hey guys, call in. I'm not answering.
Straight to voicemail.
See you guys. I'm going home. Yeah, straight to voicemail.
Yeah.
I don't even have voicemail on the Paranormal Portal, so that'll be leg number 2 of this.
That'd be a fun project.
That's a little loud.
Yeah, I heard that from here.
Apparently, my call line is busy. This can't quite pick up. That'll annoy you.
Does it usually take that long?
Huh?
Does it usually take that long?
No, it usually pops right off, but every once in a while it does this.
Oh, okay.
All right, find the groove, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move it. Paranormal Portal Zumba class.
Does anyone know how to beatbox to this?
I'm just going to close that. I don't know what the hell's wrong. It does not want to connect. I'll try it again, because sometimes it happens where it'll do that for a while, and then I'll try it again, and boom, it picks right up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to keep continuously play the Skype calling sound, but I figure I should probably be connected to the phone line just to be able to talk with you guys. I don't know why it has to play that dumb theme, though. It's like, I don't care. Just, let me know when it's connected. Give me a beep when it's connected. All right, we'll try it again. I'm only going to let it ring just a little bit if it doesn't pick up quick. Yeah, this is the cliffhanger part of the show. I don't know. There we go.
I crossed my fingers. It worked.
Well, there you go. It hasn't registered on the web interface yet, but there it goes. All right, we are now connected, ladies and gentlemen. If you had tried to call in earlier, I apologize, but we are connected now, and I can accept phone calls if you should choose to call. All right, so I'm going to get on to this next story, which is from Utah, Apparitions, Voices, and Touches. Very quick story. I thought it went. One night at 3 o'clock in the morning, my cousin and I were in the bedroom, just sitting on the bed, just talking about life. I kept hearing these weird noises, which sounded like footsteps going up and down the stairs. And about 5 minutes later, the noises stopped right by my door. That is just the worst. God, that is so terrible.
Oh, yeah.
They walk around the hall and then they stop right by the door. It's like, oh, you jerks. Because, that's such a suspenseful thing, right? And they do it just to build the tension. They do.
It's that nummy fear.
So I asked my cousin to go shut the door, and she did this as I asked. But when she was going to shut it, this black shadow of a man walked right past my bedroom door. Well, she quickly shut the door and hurried back to my bed. She was about to tell me something when all of a sudden, my door made this loud noise. We both looked at the door and tried to figure out what could have made the noise. I kept getting the feeling that someone was beside my cousin, was with us before long, and I finally fell asleep. Excuse me. Since this strange happening, the clock in the living room keeps making this ticking sound when it doesn't even have batteries in it. Has anyone else had any similar experiences? If so, please contact me. I'd really like to figure out what's going on. I'll be posting more stories that have happened to me or my family soon. If anyone has any questions, I will answer all of them. My name is blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the names. But my cousin was also freaked out by it, and she hasn't been over at my house for a while. So, very interesting. Yeah, that's creepy. But there are many instances like that are just one-offs. They're just one time this happened, and that was it. Quiet. There's many times that paranormal things just happen one time. And that's the entire experience, and then it'll be just gone. Now, I believe that those might be kind of, I don't know if there's a proper term for them, but some kind of wandering soul. Souls that aren't pinned to a place or pinned to a location and can wander and can move around. That maybe they just see what's going on, It's just creepy, though. The whole stopping by the door thing is just terrible. I think that's just rotten.
Yeah.
So, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Because, you stop and there's nothing there and you can see nothing. It's like, oh, that's so not nice.
It's just mischievous activity.
It is mischievous. It is. You're right. All right, let's get to the next one. And this story is coming from Pennsylvania. Has to do with family and friends visits. I like these because these are usually really happy and upbeat kind of stories, and they are usually pretty heartwarming.
Yeah, I like the feel-good stories.
Me too. Mm-hmm. Me too. We like to cover the feel-good ones here, too, on the portal.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to tell you about some things that have been happening since my grandfather passed away 2 years ago in January of 2007, which lets you know the stories from 2009, which is quite old. But my grandmother has experienced a lot of things that can't be explained by common sense since my pop passed on. A few months after he passed away, my nanny had something weird happen. It was late at night, about 11:25, and my grandmother was in her bedroom putting her nightgown on and getting ready for bed. She was ready to go to bed, so she walked over to the door and flipped off the light switch. The light went off. She walked over to her bed slowly. She has had knee surgery and doesn't walk real well. She was at the edge of her bed, getting on the bed, when the light went back on, all by itself.
Wow.
Well, she got upset and said, "Now why did that happen?" to herself, and went over and turned off the lights and was able to eventually fall asleep. I would say it took about 10 seconds from when she flipped off the light switch to when she was at the edge of her bed, and it went back on. I investigated the light switch the next time I visited her house. It's the kind of light switch that couldn't have possibly gotten stuck and then slipped and went back on. I spent minutes trying to see if that was possible, and it wasn't. Another time about 3 weeks ago from today, which was May 14th, 2009, she experienced another event that could not be explained by logic. She was in her living room watching television, and her cat was lying on the floor, a few feet away from her. And you can see the wooden door that goes to the basement from the couch in the living room. Well, there was a commercial on TV, and she looked over at her cat, and he was staring at the big, tall plant that sits next to the basement door. My nanny looked over at the plants, and after a few seconds, the whole plant shook. It wasn't a small little shake. There were where only a few leaves shook. The whole plant shook strongly all by itself. Her cat then ran down to the plant and just kept staring. Now the front door, which is also right near the plant, and the basement door, but the screen door and the regular door were closed, so it couldn't have been the wind. I honestly believe all these events are being caused by my deceased grandfather. He isn't trying to scare any of us, but I have the feeling he may be trying to tell my nanny something important. I think this because a lot of events started happening about a month after he passed away. They lasted for about 4 months, and then they stopped. Then nothing happened to my grandma for about 15 months. But now they started again. I think my pop tried to tell her something and then just gave up, but now he's trying again. I really wish that I could see or talk to my pop. I've only experienced 1 or 2 of the 9 or 10 strange events that my nanny has experienced. I was with her when those 1 or 2 phenomena had happened. So does anyone know if I can talk to or see my grandfather? And if so, how? I don't believe I have any psychic abilities right now, and I've never physically heard or seen a spirit, but I have felt them. I appreciate your patience for reading this long story. Oh, that's kind of the grand question, isn't it? Can you actually have a conversation with the deceased? And I don't know. I don't know why it seems very, very difficult to do so. I do believe there are sensitives and psychics that can probably help in that regard.
Yeah.
But, as far as, for me, most of my communication comes in the forms of dreams. Like, that's where I get the communication. I get it when I'm sleeping. I have meetings. I believe they're legitimate. I believe they're valid, where I'm meeting with deceased relatives, and they don't happen often. But I had one or two, possibly. I think there was a second one with my dad, but there was the one really poignant one, and that was incredibly healing and helpful. But I've also met with my grandmother after she passed, and I met with my cousin, who was more like another mother to me, and when she had passed, and those are so powerful and poignant. But that's how it seems to come through for me. I don't know. I don't know if this activity is necessarily the grandpa either, though. It's how do you know? And that's where I think it can get a little confusing as people jump to conclusions. Well, grandpa passed and now stuff's happening at his house, so it must be him. And maybe it is, but maybe it's also not. There's many situations of hauntings where when psychics are brought in, the psychics will tell the family, like, look, it doesn't like the dad. It feels intimidated by the father. And a lot of stuff would happen when the dad was at work, when the dad was somewhere else. Then things would get a little wild. But when the dad came home, it'd be like normal. And that's what they would hear from the psychic, is that, for psychics that are investigating it, is, well, it's intimidated by the father. And maybe there is something to that, and I realize it might sound really sexist, and that's not my intention, but we all have different energies. And so oftentimes in my traditional view, the dad tries to be a defender, a protector, and, the one that would go into harm's way to help his family. And moms would too, don't get me wrong. This isn't degrading in any way, whether you're a mother or father, or whatever, however you feel. My point is just that we have a different energy. It's kind of a sensitive thing for me to try to explain or put into words, but because I really don't want to offend anybody thinking that I'm I don't know, judgmental about gender roles and stuff, because I'm not. But I think that sometimes spirits can be intimidated by some people and not by others. So what if the spirit was always there? And when the grandfather was there, it was an intimidating presence to the spirit. Now the grandfather's gone, and so it's not as intimidated by the grandmother, or not even worried at all about her. So now it's going to play and do whatever it wants. And it might be fine. It might be mischievous. It might be malicious. Who knows? But it's just making itself known a lot more now. It could be the grandfather, but it could also be something else. And I think it's not necessarily the best idea to jump to conclusions. Well, that's my grandpa's spirit. Well, because grandpa passed away, that doesn't mean that he's hanging out by the houseplant, He might be, in the next life and maybe stopping in once in a while, but he might be doing his own thing. I don't know. I'm just saying. It always bugs me. Like when you watch the ghost shows on TV, they get the history of it, and they get this kind of cross-section of the history of the house. They spend the whole episode looking for one figure. And how do they... Well, is Gene here? We heard Gene died here. Is this Gene? Are you Gene? Gene, why are you staying here? And maybe it's not Gene at all. Maybe it's someone else, something else that's there. Might not have ever been human. But the whole show aims towards investigating that history instead of, and that to me gives it too narrow a scope. Well, if it's not named Gene, it's not going to answer you. Is anyone here? Is your name Gene? Is this, I don't know. It just seems to me that you can't go into a situation with preconceived notions of what's there and what's not, is my point. So take it or leave it. Complete a full investigation of the like buttons. House, you find something unique to report it to the Paranormal Portal. Absolutely, Smoking Joe. I appreciate that. And hello to everybody that's coming in now. Good to see you guys. I appreciate your presence here on the show. Lots of you here. Always room for more. And please, if you're new to the show, please subscribe, like the streams, and let people know about it. And feel free to post these on your social media as these live streams are happening. It would be a great honor if you'd post the Paranormal Portal on your page. Let people know where you're hanging out.
Every bit helps.
Every bit helps, that's for sure. So anyway, that's my nutshell of that whole idea. I don't think you can predetermine who's at a house just because there is a specific history. It may be. What?
Yeah, I'm just keeping open. I think you're right on the money. Just keeping an open mind is, I mean, in the spiritual realm and in the, your life is the best way to go about it.
Yes, indeed. What do you think? Yeah? You don't know? He gives the shrug. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's get to the next story. This one is coming from Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. Has to do with family and friends visits. My grandmother died February of 2008, but the unexplained happenings didn't start until a few months later. It seems like a theme tonight, huh?
Yeah, it seems so.
When my aunt and her daughter was diagnosed with the same cancerous tumor, luckily benign, that my grandmother had died from. They were sitting in the living room one night when a stack of coasters moved in front of a picture frame, one by one. It says to the front of a picture frame on one of the end tables. I'm sorry. I don't know the time of these events, but the next thing that happened was my aunt was cleaning the house when she was suddenly heard music playing. It turned out to be coming from my grandmother's room and from a phone that was 25 years old and has no way to play music. She finally had to unplug it because the music wouldn't stop. Another thing that happened was my aunt was cleaning the house again one day and heard a huge slam, like a door slam. Well, she looked everywhere, then suddenly decided to look in my grandmother's room and noticed that her closet door was shut. Well, we never kept it all the way shut because it was very hard to open again. She almost didn't get it open that time. That has also happened with my mom there. My grandmother had a little handheld poker game that she always used to play, and my aunt kept it in a glass case with her collectibles. One day, my aunt heard it go off in the case with a royal flush. She tried everything to turn it off, but finally had to take the batteries out. However, even after taking the batteries out, it continued to play the music. Yeah, that's all kinds of creepy.
Yeah, geez.
My uncle has claimed that he woke up one night and rolled over in bed and could swear he saw my grandmother standing in the doorway. My aunt has also said that sometimes she sees her. My sister spent the night over one night, most likely because the family was in town and she was sleeping with my aunt, who always keeps the door open. My sister said she hardly got any sleep that night because she kept hearing footsteps going through the house. My uncle also states that sometimes you can walk through the dining room and into the kitchen and sometimes smell coffee that smells freshly brewed. Oh, that's nice. My uncle also had a shampoo bottle thrown at him when he was taking a shower. Wow, she didn't approve of something there. It fell on his foot and cut it open. Jeez.
Oh.
I'm not sure on this one because it is the only one with any violence so far, and I don't think she would ever do anything like that. There was one time when my aunt was talking to my cousin who lives in Indiana, and they were about to it says hand up, but I think they mean hang up, when they heard someone say something in the phone, but it wasn't either one of them. I can't remember what the phrase was, but it was one my grandmother always used to say. Something along the lines of, now be careful, or be safe. Close to Thanksgiving, my little cousin, who was 5 or 6 years old, had commented on how he wished Meemaw could have been here for Thanksgiving. My aunt and uncle were sitting in the dining room, and my aunt was telling my uncle what my cousin had said, and right after she told him, the lights went out. The last occurrence happened only a few weeks ago. My aunt and uncle have a satellite-linked clock that is always set for the same time every day. When my aunt gets up in the morning, I guess when my aunt gets up in the morning, period, okay? It had never gone off on an irregular time until the night when it started playing music at around 12:30 in the morning. Cindy tried everything to shut it off, and while she was doing that, my uncle rolled over and shook her shoulder, saying, "Your mom wants to talk to you." Well, that one is a little humorous because of what he said. The clock finally turned off by itself. Hold on. These two are not superstitious at all and would never lie about something like this. I call myself fortunate that nothing has ever happened while I have been there, because I don't know what I would do if I saw her or if something had happened. I wouldn't mind seeing her, but I don't want to feel the fear that comes with seeing a ghost, considering I've never seen one before. I didn't even really believe in them until all these things started happening. Their house also has shadow people. I don't know if the technical term, but that is what we call them. They have been there for as long as I can remember, long before my grandmother died. Those I have seen, but not for a long time, probably because I went to school in Texas for 3 years. I remember I hated sleeping in my grandmother's home when we spent the night because it was always so dark in that room when it wouldn't have been, when it shouldn't have been. And I absolutely hated walking through the hall to the bathroom. It's not a big hall, but you have to walk by my aunt's dark room to get to the bathroom, and it's all I can do to walk by it without running. The den is also a lot darker than it should be. They have an enclosed back porch that is hooked to the den, so it shouldn't be as dark as it is sometimes in there. And the shadows in the corners always seem like they just don't belong. But my uncle has seen more prominent shadows. I'm sure my aunt has too, but my uncle talks about it more. I think it helps him deal with it better. They've lived in that house for as long as they've been married, and I think almost 30 years. I know my grandmother would never do anything to hurt anyone in the house. And considering when all these things started happening, I want to say she's hanging around because she wants my aunt to know that it's okay and that she is there for her. However, that still does not explain the shampoo bottle, but the cut on his foot could have just been bad body placement on my uncle's part, I guess. If anyone has any experience like these or could help, it would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I don't know if they already had activity in the house, though. Again, how do you know that's grandma doing all that stuff? Maybe it's the shadow people.
Especially if it's violence.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Because
violence
you wouldn't
really throws
expect
it.
that. Yeah. Throwing a shampoo bottle at all is, could seem like a pretty aggressive act.
Doesn't seem like some grandma, grandma would do.
Come on
Unless,
over,
I don't
kids.
know.
It's time to play with Dodge the Shampoo. I don't know. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. I don't know. That just doesn't match for me. So I'm betting, again, the same theme. Don't be presumptuous of what you're dealing with. You could be completely wrong. Might not be grandma at all.
Scary part is, what if it is grandma?
What was the uncle doing that she didn't approve of? Hey. I don't know what's going on in there. That's a little disturbing. All right, but yeah, we'll leave that lay there. All right, we got another one here. What time we got? God, the time's flying. It's already 7:43.
Whoa.
Yeah, welcome to daylight savings time. It didn't seem to save any light today.
No.
It was dark by 5 here, wasn't it?
Yeah, just about.
Jeez, it's just all so fast. I need my summer back now. I like when it's light until like 10 at night. That is so nice. All right, next story. Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. Any of those of you in Tennessee, this one's for you. It's going out to all you Tennesseans. Is that a word, Tennesseans?
Tennesseans.
Tennesseans?
No, wait, that's not right.
I don't know. I don't know. Tennessons. All right. Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds like Ben 10, huh? All right, here we go. That's one the minion could relate to. He loves some Ben 10. Yep. Yeah. All right, so we're going to Tennessee. This has to do with pets and animals. These are good stories usually. It says, I'd like to start off first by saying that I have a lot of things to write about. Things that I've experienced that have happened to me, which are not a lot right now. I don't know what that means. And these things that are close, that my close friends and family have experienced. And this one is about our dogs that have been gone for years. The first dog I ever remember having was a little poodle named Mitzi. She was my mom's dog, and we had her until I was about 4 or 5 years old. My mom had her put to sleep because she had developed arthritis. And at the time, not knowing that they put her to sleep, and then shoved a needle through her stomach. What? What? I don't understand what at the time, not knowing that they put her to sleep, and then shoved a needle through her stomach. It broke my mom because she had requested to stay in the room while they did this. Okay. I don't know really. That was kind of a disjointed paragraph there, but sounds like they took her in and kind of put her to sleep without the mom there, and the mom was brokenhearted about it, is what I'm taking away from that. For a long time after that, everyone in the house had seen Mitzi around the house, but you never see her right out in the open. It was always in the corner of your eye. We had figured out that we only saw her when we didn't have any animals in the house. I remember seeing her a lot until we got Magoo, our Boston Terrier. No one really saw her while we had him or while my dad still lived with us. However, I can't figure out if it's linked to Mom's pain and grief over anything or just the animals. I can't remember that far back. I do, however, remember Mitzi walking under my bed one day, but it was just from the corner of my eye. I also remember going to the kitchen one day and saw her go around the table. I've heard dog toenails hitting the floor as if a dog was walking on the hardwood floor when we didn't even have a dog. All these things happened after Magoo passed away. Wow. We've had random things disappear in the house, only to reappear in the most random places. It would be little things like a Game Boy game that someone could have swore was on the coffee table in the living room and reappear in my room or on my TV stand, which actually did happen. There have been some things like jewelry that my mom has lost that stayed lost for a long time and then suddenly just reappeared in her jewelry box one day. I lost a Destiny's Child that has never been found, and I also lost a prism that I have never come across again. My mom had this little butterfly beanie baby that she loved, and I think it was a Mother's Day present from my sister, or something. Then when we were younger, and it always sat on her jewelry box until one day it just disappeared. We haven't found it either. My sister finally just bought her another one. As I said, we noticed that we did not see Mitzi when we got new pets. After Magoo died, it was a while before we got our beagle that we have now, Dory. It was at least a year, but I have not seen Mitzi at all since having Dory. My sister has said that she has seen Magoo, however. She stated that just the other day she saw him in the kitchen, and he did not get put to sleep, but he didn't pass in the best of ways. The best of ways, okay? Our neighbors used to throw things out by their porch, and like bones and such, which, when he got older, he had problems swallowing food and never liked to chew. We let him out one night, and he didn't come back, and when we started searching for him, I found him on our neighbor's porch. He had choked to death on something. This also broke my mom, I think because he had been with us through the divorce and everything. As I said, though, ever since getting our beagle, nothing has happened. In fact, I don't even know if anything has disappeared. She probably won't make her presence known again for a while. We have 4 dogs in the house, plus a cat. Has anyone experienced anything like this? It's not really scary that we've seen them, just odd because they're just there. Huh. I've seen Xena in dreams.
Yep, I remember you told me those stories. Yeah.
Had you?
I saw her, I think, once.
In a dream?
Yeah.
Oh, in a dream,
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just seems to be the way that they come through for me anyway.
I mean, the one thing about those dreams and just regular dreams is it feels different completely.
Yeah, it really does. It's like, it's so real. I mean, it's so lucid and powerful. So like usually I don't remember my dreams at all. I might remember a little image about it or an idea about a dream for about the first half hour I'm awake, and then it's just gone. But those dreams are so powerful and poignant. I always remember them.
Yeah. That's the thing too, is that like a lot of my memory, I have horrible memory. I mean, you know that, but like it's hard to remember a lot of things, but like dreams like that, I have no problem remembering, which is interesting.
That's what makes them more real for me. I think that's what makes them more powerful and real, it's because you do remember them, and because I do remember them. I really never remember dreams. Very rarely. I've
Yeah.
had just a handful through my life that I can recall, but always the ones where I'm visited. And I do think they're real. I really do.
I do too.
Because I think our pets are bound to us in a spiritual way, not just in a physical way, but in a spiritual way, and that bond lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one is coming from Tennessee, another pets version. This is another pet story. It says, this one's a little weird. Okay, that's a great start. When I was in high school, I always rode the bus. I was the first one to get picked up, so it was always still dark when I got on. One morning, I was waiting for the bus as usual when I glanced to the right, down the road, and noticed something dark sitting in the middle of the road. It took my eyes a minute to focus and get used to the sudden darkness of the object, but once I did, I noticed it was a huge dog. Almost like a wolf, but it was bigger and pitch black. It didn't look mean, even though it did have red eyes. What? Huh? Okay, it just sat there staring at me. It was the oddest thing I've ever seen. I didn't feel scared or even nervous or anything. We just stared at each other, and it was really quite puzzled. I was really quite puzzled at seeing it, and especially when it just faded away. I've never seen it again. I still don't understand why, of all places, I saw it on our road. We live off the Chattanooga city limits in a very small neighborhood. I don't think anyone really believed me about seeing this dog. I researched it and learned that people have seen these huge dogs before, but never anywhere remotely close to where I live. They were always reported in England and countries like that. And there have been a few experiences in the U.S., but again, nowhere close to Harrison, Tennessee. Has anyone ever seen a dog like this before? This occurrence has always baffled me because I'm the only one I know that has seen such a thing. Sorry. I think I said think.
You did?
Weird. Any help or stories would be greatly appreciated. I don't know. It's a spiritual thing, though, obviously. If it faded away, sounds like a spiritual thing, or a dog man. You know, I don't know, the whole fading away thing. I don't know if dogmen are attributed to that too. I know that people have claimed that Bigfoot can just phase and go. You hear claims of that once in a while. I'm not sure about the dogmen doing the same thing, though. I'm not saying no or yes. I'm just saying I'm really not sure. So,
yeah, seems a little more spiritual to me.
yeah,
but,
it does. It
yeah.
kind of sounds like the grim.
Yeah. There you go.
And I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I mean, if it's got red eyes, it's already not natural. That's, I think that's like number one on the checklist. Okay, not natural.
And not,
red eyes.
Probably not on your good side.
Yeah, generally red glowing eyes are kind of an intimidating look.
Yeah.
So you usually don't think it's fluffy or, spot. It's more like a Brutus or something horrible. Not that there's anything wrong with a Brutus, just thinking of a name that sounded tough. All right, one more to go. Let's see what this is. Let me look at the time here. Yeah, it's actually going to be about perfect. And this is about the perfect size story for the last one. So
Brilliant.
brilliant. It's another pets one. There's 3 in a row. Wow.
All right. Nice.
I don't know how that worked, but it did. All right, this is coming from Texas, ladies and gentlemen. Pets and animals. Last year, I lost my dachshund to a terrible accident. Of all the days to have died, she died on my 20th birthday, which was just devastating to me. We'd all been putting her in the backyard with the other dogs because she liked to sunbathe, but we couldn't let her out of the front because she would just run off. The night before my birthday, my fiance and I were watching a movie when I asked if I could let Jocelyn in. He told me she'd be okay until the movie was over, and I was reluctant but agreed. After the movie, he went out to the bathroom, and I went to let her in, but when I opened the door, all the dogs came in but her. I got worried because she always came when I called for her. We were like kindred spirits. I walked out onto the porch and saw her lying on the ground. I thought she was dead. I screamed like I've never screamed before. I hope I never have to like that again. It scared even me. My fiance came running in there and saw her lying there. He picked her up, and we found that she wasn't dead after all, but she was close. It was Friday night. We drove all over town with the heat blasting in the middle of April looking for an open vet No one even answered their emergency phone lines. I felt so helpless. We didn't have the money to take her to Dallas for an emergency vet. We did get a close friend who raised dogs to come look at her. She honestly thought she would make it through the night, so we finally, and very reluctantly for me, went to bed. The poor thing, she always slept with us, and we had her all wrapped up in blankets to keep her warm, in her crate, but she wanted to sleep with me. She always slept in between my right side and my arm, and that's where she slept that night, but she passed in the morning. For the first week after she left us, I know I saw her in the corner of my vision. There was one night I was sitting at my computer and I felt something brush against my leg, but nothing was in the room. I think she was just trying to comfort me because I took it so incredibly hard. I grieved for about a year, but when I got the dog I have now, Lexi, I never had another experience with Jocelyn. I hope she's resting peacefully after her traumatic experience. It never really says what happened to her, but I assume there was something with the other dogs, huh?
Yeah.
Like she got into a tussle.
Yeah.
Sometimes those little dogs, they're little tiny things, but God, they got the heart of lions. They don't know they're little. They just have all kinds of attitude.
Some of them seem a lot more aggressive than some big dogs.
Yeah, well,
like most of them.
That's true. They can be little jerks. They get the small dog complex.
It's actually a common theme is that with these stories is that it stops whenever they get a new dog in their life.
Yep.
That was something I was always paranoid about. Do they feel left behind? But I mean, obviously, I know better. But it's just something that is in the back of my mind.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's definitely a consideration.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Mm,
You think people should be subscribed?
yes.
Yes, get
Yeah,
subscribed. All right, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Hit the notification bell
Hit the notification bell. Woo!
That's right.
and like the video and
Wow.
follow Paranormal Portal Instagram.
Wow.
Wow, that was a pro deal.
That
Nice job.
Better
That was a
done.
pro endorsement. Well
No,
played,
a
sir.
lot better done than I did.
Yeah. Oh, you got more? Okay.
Thank you.
Why are you talking like this?
You're trying to be creepy.
Say thanks for watching us.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our journey tonight. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And somebody says, Bomber says, awesome, Minion. The big heart for you. That's awesome, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, thank you all for being here. Hi, Steph. That's a new name, Steph O'Connell. Great to meet you and great to meet anybody new that's here. Thank you for coming and finding us. If you're not already subscribed, please get subscribed. We are on Instagram, oddly enough. I never promote that myself, but it's true. If you have an Instagram account, look for Paranormal Portal or Brent Thomas. I can't remember which one it's under, but I know I can get to it either way, but I hope you can too. So follow us there. Oh, he's coming in for more.
Yes, Paranormal has Instagram. That's right.
Yes, Paranormal has Instagram.
Yes.
Well played, sir. Well played. Sheldon, anything in closing?
No, I think that about wraps it up.
That wraps it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you had a fun time with us here as we went through the Paranormal Portal and the Night Terrors. We'll be back on Wednesday when we'll be, Don and I will be back. I don't know who else will be here. Maybe some branch of the family tree will be joining us.
Good night.
And good night to you, sir. All right. All right. Just got to tell you all, I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. All right. We'll be back on Wednesday. Have a great couple of days. If you find you need a portal fix, there's over 840 episodes right here on YouTube to check out, plus the 150 or 200 podcasts that we have. So there's lots of portal for you if you need it. But otherwise, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio. And that's all I can think of. All right, guys. Love you bunches. I am following the portal on Instagram. That's what Aussie Tiger says.
All right.
That's awesome. What did somebody else here say? Good night. Thanks, Great Lakes. Appreciate it. Pharmacy says, good job, Elijah. Great job, Elijah. Josh says, Don who? It's now a family show.
Oh no.
We'll let Don come in and dust. We love you guys. You want to say one more thing? Okay.
Bye.
Okay, well done. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Love you all. And have a great couple days.